No, I'm telling you, I don't know who was out there, but it was not them. I was there in the building last week. I watched the Rams on the field. I don't know who was out there in those uniforms, but it was not the Rams. Like, I gotta record, just put an APB out, find where the Rams are. Bye. All right. Now that my corny joke is out the way, all we can do is laugh about it, right? Because that is one of the worst losses I have experienced as an adult amongst all sports. I'm talking basketball, man. I'm talking fantasy football. I'm talking pickleball, pickup basketball. That was brutal. I feel sick. How do you feel? Ramily, please, in the comments, tell me exactly how you feel about that loss. Let it out. This is a vent session. Normally, we're more structured and very professional in our journalism here, but tonight is a special night because it was prime time and the Rams lost in overtime to the 49ers 23 to 26. The depleted roster that was the San Francisco 49ers came to town. They were prepared. They were playing desperate, and they were the better team. Let's get into it. First, I will start off with the quotes from McVey after the game, and we'll talk about his crimes. McVey, when asked about just the play selection and overtime, and just offense in general, McVey said the play selection was very poor. I'm sick right now because I put our players in a shitty spot, and I got to live with that. He went on to answer another question in that same breath, talking about the team's preparedness coming into the night. With some other words, he said, "quote We weren't ready to go," and it was apparent when you watch that first half. It's nothing about game plan, nothing about scheme. You can just you've watched enough football in your life. If you've played football, whether or not, if you watched enough, you've watched good football. You know when teams are playing lackadaisical, when they're just not intense, and you could sense that on the field. There was no pass rush, tackles were being missed, shit was sloppy, passes are getting missed early in the game. Cardi's kicking, missing kicks. There's blocks again, all lackadaisical, and it comes down to did the big man, did the guy in charge get you prepared like you were supposed to be on a short week against a depleted team? And we talked about it this week. Don't sleep on them because this is not a perfect team. The Rams are a pretty good team, but with instances like this, instances like the Philadelphia game, unfortunately, this is only a pretty good team as it stands. McVay's biggest crimes, in my opinion, the end of the game. 4th and 1, you have not had success running between the tackles like you want to. Even the Kyron fumble, we'll get into that later. But you just haven't had success between the tackles. You got Fred Warner in there, and you've got two replacement offensive linemen. And the play call you come up with is you're asking Jordan Whittington. We all love Jordan. He's a baller. He can block. He's not Puka, but he can block. But you're asking Jordan Whittington to lead into the gap and help block big ass players and the likes of a Fred Warner. There was no success there to be had. That was not going to happen. When I saw the condensed formation, I was praying it was a jet sweep. I was praying it's a sprint out to Puka or Tay. When I saw him turn around to hand it off, I right away I knew it was not going to happen. There was no push. They have not had push all night. And this is going to bleed into our next topic of Matthew Stafford. Your biggest crime, McVay, is not just not having the team prepared, which is awful. Like this team was sleepwalking in that first half. It is ugly. But then 4th and 1, you call that play call. You take the ball out of Nine's hands. Matthew Stafford had damn near 400 yards, 111 rating, and what, 3 touchdowns? Here, I'll read off the stats. He was 30 for 47, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You can make the cases, there should have been interceptions, but there wasn't. Almost interceptions are completions. His timing is off with Devontae Adams, whatever. That guy put you down the field, put you in position to win multiple times, and the rest of the team let him down. McVay let him down. 4th and 1, your quarterback's on a heater. He got you down the field. He's the only reason that you're in this game to begin with, that you should have lost time and time again because your team wasn't ready, and you take the ball out of his hands. How do you not just go with the hot hand? You don't go to your best player with who's got 55 catches through the first 5 games and Puka Nacua, or at least test Devontae Adams and man. I get it. Shanahan's in your head. You overthought it a little bit. You guys know I am a defender of McVey till my last dying breath. He fucked up tonight's game. That is a tough pill to swallow, man. That being said, though, Matthew Stafford, despite the loss, with these numbers, I'll say him again: 30 for 47, 389, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 111 rating. Baller ass pass down the field to Tutu Atwell, rolled left, threw back right, however far down the field. The amount of insane passes he's making this year, let alone tonight, that man needs to be in MVP considerations. I don't care about any argument against it. I don't care about he's off with Tay here and there. I don't care about the few missed passes tonight. The good that he did tonight outweighs everything else, outweighs all the bad the team did, because clearly he put him in a position to at least try to win the game. And like I said, when it mattered most, McVey overthought it, ran the ball, and just didn't give it, like, just give Stafford a chance. Like, what are you doing? Like, I made a TikTok and I said, I will take a pick six over what the fuck that was. At least give Stafford a chance to continue his heater, make it happen. But I'm still starting to prop again. And Matthew Stafford needs to be in MVP considerations because he's carrying this team on his back right now. Stafford's post-game conference, some of his quotes. Somebody asked about the guys staying together after a loss like this. Stafford said, I'm not worried about guys being not together. Guys are pissed off because they care. If everybody was laughing and joking, I'd be a little bit more concerned. Kind of went on to reiterate, guys are ticked, and he liked that. That's it. Very angry. That's his way of, McVey always saying, oh, I'm excited to see how our team responds. That's his version. The team is going to respond. They're going to be fine. It's a playoff team. But like I said, this is a pretty good team because a lot of their flaws were glaring tonight. Aside of the lackadaisicalness, the defense. I don't know what the scheme was. Everyone else is going to cover the cornerbacks. I'll talk about it briefly. The cornerback situation, I'm more concerned about Darius Williams. Kobe Durant didn't have a good night early on. He was struggling against Kendrick Bourne, future Hall of Famer Kendrick Bourne. And no shot at him. I respect to Kendrick Bourne. You showed up. You balled the fuck out. I hope you earned yourself another bag. Like, I hope you have more nights like this because when a dude can show up and just ball out when the odds are against you, you deserve money, bro. No sarcasm. Like, straight up. I hope you get another bag, man. The cornerbacks here, though, there are already question marks coming into this game. I'm starting to believe, outside of the Darius Williams conversation, really need to look at why he was struggling on the film. But I think the scheme is holding them back. I think the scheme is really putting them in a bad position. We are accustomed to, here in Los Angeles, thinking back to like the Raheem Morris defenses, right? The bend but don't break. You had a Jalen Ramsey. You had other guys out there that were like, yeah, you can bend but don't break because eventually they're going to make a play. Eventually they're going to pick off something. Eventually they're going to make, a winning stop. The problem is this set of cornerbacks is not great enough yet. Do I still have faith, Forbes, Durant can do great things? Absolutely. My thing is guys get better or guys get worse. I think they're going to get better. The problem is the current system that they're playing in, the way Shula's calling these games, he is putting too much on them when the 4-man pass rush is not there. You're having them set back and waiting for them to make a play. That's just not their forte right now. The lack of, I think, blitzing on earlier downs, and the lack of pass rush due to the lackadaisicalness of the defense put these cornerbacks in a bind to where, all right, cool, you're not going to be able to stop anything. You're sitting back 10 yards. They're going to keep hitting the short stuff underneath. Not go try to make a tackle. You're going to get tired the fuck out. And yeah, I'm very confused by Chris Shula's scheme tonight. I don't think it was a winning recipe, whatever he was doing. Finally, when They had more fight in the second half and in the fourth quarter, clawing back. It looked better, but it was more just effort. It didn't feel like ever that they were getting any kind of consistent pressure that we were seeing on quarterbacks the previous 4 weeks. Whatever the 49ers were doing, picking up stunts, blitzes didn't really seem effective. So I'm not sure if it's effort really. I don't know if it how much falls on scheme, but that's my initial reaction. It feels like it's scheme based. I We had this problem last season where the first half of the year was like, what are we fucking doing? And then it turned around. So I'm excited to see what they do to turn it around. But I am finally in the camp. I've been holding out due to the Akello injury, due to the play that I saw tonight. The cornerbacks, like I said, are not the greatest. The margin of error is so small that an off night looks fucking atrocious. And because of that, you got to help yourself out. You got to bring in reinforcements. This is not a slide on Forbes, the younger guys. You gotta go make a trade. You have to bring someone in. You need a game changer back there because right now you have a lot of guys that play well in the system, can make the sure tackles. Like Quentin Lake had like fucking 13 tackles, but you need a game changer back there. You've got the game changers in the front seven. You need one more in the back end to help everyone else out. Then when you're in a bind, you have a game like this. Like thinking back to Jalen Ramsey years, shit was bad, and then all of a sudden, bam, interception, game changes. You need that. It was missing, and it was very apparent. So I'm finally in the camp. You got to go trade for someone. Figure out the salary cap stuff. I don't talk about salary cap. I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be. Les Snead is a smart one. Figure it out. You know how to do it. Bring someone in that you really like. I know you got a few guys tagged. Um, I'm gonna end this giving props to SF, man. It hurts. It hurts bad to say this because I can be professional with every fan base, but because I'm from Stockton, California, dog, it is hard watching San Francisco fans be happy, and in my own family too. Um, no, they showed up. Like I said, they were undermanned, underdogs, came out and punched the Rams right in the mouth, and then Rams didn't have a response until it was too late. You when you're down like that and a team is playing more desperate than you have to be perfect to come back. And Rams weren't perfect. They fucked up play calls, unforced errors, missed passes here and there. Stafford made the passes when they mattered, but was too little, too late. So that's my rant session. That's really all I got for you guys. I had to get that off my chest. Subscribe to our Substack. Follow us on Instagram. Leave your comments below. Like I said, tell me how you feel. This is a therapy session, safe space for you all. I'm your YouTube punching bag. Drop your feelings below, and I will see you later in the week.